Okay, so these are part of the student startup competition that started this year. And our first group, they are proposing Listen, Learn to help the deaf population in a common struggle. And our presenters and CEO is Lily Phillips. And the CFO and presenter is Nicole Salazar. So please take it away.
Hi, I'm Lily Phillips, and I designed this app because I wanted to help people with their hearing aids. So,
I don't see that. Yeah, no.
she's figuring it out. Anyway,
Yeah. Oh, is that a map?
did you do it?
It's not working. Oh, there you go.
Great, thanks.
You want the next one?
Yeah.
Over it.
So my grandmother and a lot of people in my family have hearing aids and have been diagnosed with really bad hearing loss due to age or, certain illnesses. My brother lost 20% of his hearing in both of his ears due to an ear infection. And eventually he's going to need hearing aids because it's just constantly declining. And hearing aid users, when they get their hearing aids, they're already so expensive. We just now got that new law that you can, the bill passed that you can get hearing aids at places like Costco, so it's more affordable. But the biggest issue with hearing aids is they're very hard to use for a lot of people. It can be very, very frustrating. They're very small devices. You can't really see them. There's not really a screen. And people are frustrated and they don't know how to use them. They stop using them and they're sacrificing their hearing just because they can't understand how to use their hearing aids. So I wanted to create something that would make this easier. So I wanted this to be a helper and reminder for hearing aid users and provide access to solutions. So the leading cause for hearing aid damage is the fact that they're not keeping up with cleaning them. So the buds that go into your ear get very clogged. You have to make sure that you get all the moisture out of them so they can be used, they don't get damaged. Most hearing aids should last about like 8 years, but they typically only last 3 because they're not being cleaned regularly. So I wanted to create an app that would set reminders for you like, hey, it's time to replace your caps. Hey, it's time to clean them. Hey, make sure there's no moisture in there and stuff like that. So our target audience would be like not tech savvy people. My grandmother all the time will call me. She's like, really? I can't figure out my hearing aids. Please help me. And I'm like, well, I'm in class. She's like, I'll drive 2.5 hours to come see you so you can help me with my hearing aids. I'm like, oh God, and some people, they can't, drive these far distances to have their hearing aids fixed. I mean, her audiologist is in Ackworth, and every time she goes to get her hearing aids fixed, they charge her. So she's trying to come to me, and I don't know how to use hearing aids. And so that's the whole thing. My brother, he'll eventually need hearing aids, and the forgetfulness is definitely him, and he can barely remember to brush his teeth. So I don't think he's going to remember to clean his hearing aids regularly and make sure that he's keeping up with everything. Also, people that are not, financially able to be traveling outside of their house. My uncle Don, he has hearing aids. He was in Vietnam. He got his hearing aids in VA and all this stuff, but he doesn't have the money to keep going to the audiologist to get things fixed. He doesn't have the gas money, even if he had that money. And so he just stopped wearing his hearing aids because he can't figure them out. And of course, no access or easy access to help. Of course, if you can't drive there, you can't get there, you can't pay for it. It's very frustrating. You just stop wearing them. I also wanted Listen Learn to have this feature to where it can be synced with family members. So my grandmother's best friend, her name is Cherie. Her mother, who is still alive, it's crazy. She has hearing aids. And she has to drive over to her house to help her. And of course, my grandmother has to drive here for me to help her. I wanted to create a feature that even if I'm 2.5 hours away, or if I'm in California, my grandmother can come and be like, it's working. And I can be like, oh, your Bluetooth's not on. You just need to turn your Bluetooth on. Here, I'll go ahead and do it for you. Something like that. Yeah.
So, making it more of the aesthetic aspect of this problem.
Well,
not problem, but inconvenient that can be. 25 million of adults alone in the US could benefit from using hearing aids, but they don't. Seeing this pie, 8% of adults in the US use hearing aids. And the rest should be using hearing aids, but they don't because of the complications that come with it. Listen and learn could help these adults to feel that they could benefit from the hearing aids, and also they could make it less difficult. Just like Lily expressed, her grandmother suffered from, hey, I don't know what's wrong with my hearing aids, I don't know if they're out of battery, I don't know if they're still working because I didn't clean them, I don't know if the Bluetooth is not on. These adults will help. Lily, for example, her grandmother, oh, your Bluetooth is not on, let me do it for you. It's a fix. And the percentage of adults in the US is this much. Some use implants and some use implants, and those are the percentages in other type of devices, such as translators in the phone and kind of manuscripts that they listen from the phone, and if you get the text, well, most of them use hearing aids. And that's why we use the target audience. In our business model, in a more this kind of business idea, we have our basic, that is a free service, and it normally includes access to tips, videos, reminders, doctors near you, closed captions, nothing that you may need. But we also offer a silver service, that's a more premium service that goes from $14.99 a month or $150 a year, and that includes the same as the basic plan, but also automatic set reminders and remote assistance. What I mean by remote assistance, for more in detail, will be an employee in another line. If you, for example, don't have somebody to share the family plan or friends to share the family plan, you could get an employee to assist you remotely. You could get somebody to help say, hey, I don't know what's wrong with my hearing aid, I don't know what is to do. Let me call somebody and they will help you. For the gold plan, it could be $29.99 a month, and it could be $300 a year. And you get not only the basic, of course, and for the silver too, as benefits. And you'll get a sync calendar feature and an in-person assistance. And for an in-person assistance, will be more of a, oh, I will go to your location, a safe remote location, and it will help you. And they will help you in person. They will go, oh, let me see. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, you need to clean it this way. Oh, any other problem that you may have. The employee may be able to help you with it.
So a lot of hearing aid companies and audiologists have access to certain apps that help, people that need hearing aids with their hearing aids. What would make us special is we help with even just the minor inconveniences. So let's say your battery and your hearing aids are dead, you forgot to charge them, and you can't hear, and that you need to be able to hear. That's very important. And so there's a closed caption feature that will listen and type out everything that people are saying to you, so that way you know what's going on around you. There's also going to be tips and videos. Yes, you need to know that it's time to clean your hearing aids, but how do you clean your hearing aids? If you clean them wrong, you could be damaging your hearing aids. That could be hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars of damage. It also has in-person and remote assistance. So each employee would be starred with a certain rating, and you would meet in a common place, like Dunkin' Donuts or something. And they would help you with your hearing aid. That way, no one's in danger, nobody's going to your house, that kind of thing, but somewhere local to you. And let's say, you're out of town, you don't have, the means to be meeting up with someone can remote hook up to, your phone and help you and switch on things if you don't have the same feature with, say, a family member. The family member syncing thing, of course, that's not in most of the apps. And the app is also personalizable. If that's a word. You can change the colors. Let's say you're colorblind, maybe the blues that I chose for the app maybe that's hard for you to see the font, maybe you need to just take the blue away. Maybe you need to make the letters larger. I know my grandmother, she has her phone set up to where her letters are like this big, so she can read. Just stuff like that. Maybe you want to add your insurance carrier. I mean, one of our goals would be to work with insurance. That way, you know, maybe the VA, just to make things more affordable. And all of these are very, very important to keeping up with the health of your hearing aid, because the average cost of hearing aid repairs is almost $400 per year. So that is a lot of money.
Compared to the other competitors, I searched some of the top-notch competitors in this kind of theme of getting hearing aids or hearing loss, and I found that Google Live Transcribe, Ava, Roger Voice, and Reminder Pro could be one of those competitors. I would like to say that Ava is a paid service, and Roger Voice is somewhat of a paid service, kind of like us. But the three of them offer transcript. So somebody's gonna talk to you and the phone will transcribe it to text. And that's the only service that they offer. It limits to that. And just like Lily said, what makes our app special is the easiness of being able to do everything inside the app without making it 3 other apps, being the reminder. With like Bill Reminder Pro, they have to like, oh, set the reminder here, then the Bluetooth is here, then the transcript is here, then everything is anywhere else. Listen, learn, make everything in one place, as simple as a click of a button or an option, or as a help of an employee remotely or in person. And of course, I need to touch a little bit of the marketing if I were to place this on the market. And I'll go into a minimum viable product and experiment deployment and observe growth. And I would like to use, if I were to get an investor to put most of their money into ads and the development of this app in order to grow. And the current status, people go into March 2024 with a beta testing. The public will test it, see the bugs, see what could be mistaken, if it could be any error, or maybe any bug that could cause any major problems for the app. For June 2024, we'll get a new features, maybe one language added, since we know that it's a struggle to learn other languages and we don't want to target only for English. And in 2025, it will be the public and official launch. Now for the use of funds, it could be 50, 30, 20. It could be approved. It will be 50 for product development, 30 for admin, and 20 for key employees. And that will be a thank you. If any of you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer in the room.
Okay, so now I know I have a father-in-law that hates his hearing aid. Doesn't know how to use anything, barely uses iPad. He only retired before he had a computer, so. You would be the perfect market for this. Are you to the point where you got it programmed as an app? Are you, is it just an idea phase at this point?
It's an idea, but I also have a prototype of what the app would look like. It's actually on my phone if y'all want to see it. But we haven't really spoken to any actual investors or anything, and we haven't had it like coded by, you know, a coder or anything like that. But I'd love to go forward with it because I think it's helpful.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Good job.
All right, I'm gonna get you this next group set up. Which ones?
There should be two, like a Canvas and an Adobe XD link. Maybe that's in here. Yes, that's the Adobe. And then I think that might be. Weird. It should function without using yeah. And well, it fails, I can just sign into my account and pull up the thing. Okay, I think that would be easy. Let's try one more time. There we go. All right. Are you starting on this page? Yes.
All right, thanks for bearing with us. Oh, I think I need to share the screen. Hold on. All right, so this is our second presentation of this session. This is also one of the groups that competed in the student startup competition. And for this presentation, it is Pitch Deck, the Penguin, Parenting Made Easier. And our founder and CEO is Casey Fancher, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then our managing director is Raven Jackson. So take it from here.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I know you've all probably had very long and tiring days. So we all wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and listen to something that is very near and dear to both of our hearts. There we go. All right, and I am Casey Fancher. I am the founder and CEO, like Ms. Barnum said. I am a graphic design major here at Piedmont and a music minor and music performance and double bass.
My name is Raven Jackson. I'm the managing director. I major in art therapy here at Piedmont. And to take you through a bit of what we plan to talk about today, we plan to go over our team, the product, market size, business model, and then of course the demo at the end.
The whole idea for the app called the Penguin is that we both were raised by single parents. And we both got to witness the struggle of a single parent firsthand. And no one could realize the effects of being a single parent more than the child and witnessing all the struggles and difficulties gone through by the parents. So that's why we wanted to come up here and create something that would make a difference. The current situation is that parents, both young and old, are more often than not thrown into the position of parenthood without experience or help. I know for my dad personally, he went through a very messy divorce with his ex-wife and my mom. Being a drug addict, it was not expected and it threw everything completely for a loop. He did have help from his mother, who was also a single parent at the time of two rowdy boys in Alabama in the 70s. And that's actually where I got the idea to call it the Penguin, because her nickname is the Penguin.
I am the child of a widow. My father died the same Christmas of the year that I was born. And my mother was lucky enough to have not only all of her sisters to help, but also my grandmother, since my grandmother did cycle through a lot of husbands. She divorced very often. She was not a very easy woman to please. So you may be wondering what makes the Penguin different. Most apps that are catered to single parents usually only cater to the dating side of it. When parents need more than just another partner to help, they need advice.
I know personally for my dad, my grandma was living mainly in Alabama at the time and could only visit a couple times a month. So through that time, he was practically on his own. He didn't have any sisters, didn't have any other daughters. I was the only daughter. So kind of raising a child of the opposite sex, especially when you're bald and old, is not an easy task. And in context, our goals and commitments is to maintain a respect with the parent and their lives, which is something very important to both of us. We want to make sure that we are not manipulating or exploiting their experience. We want to ensure their trust and safety in our app, and we hope to be a helpful service that makes a difference while also capitalizing off an experience that comes with being a young or single parent, especially a single parent raising a child of the opposite sex, like me and my father, for example. I did some research into the percentages, and 38% of kids that are born in the United States live in a single parent household. And if you delve further into that, you can see that 21% are raised by a single mother, 4% are raised by a single father, 7% are raised by cohabiting parents, and 65% raised by married parents. My parents were kind of like a mix of my dad and sometimes cohabiting when my mom was declared safe enough for me to be around, but I was only supposed to be around her and my grandmother. I could not be around just her specifically. So that put a hinder on a lot of things during my childhood.
So we planned for it not only to be an app accessible on the phone, but we also want it to be accessible on the tablet and computer, no matter what may be more convenient for the parent. We're going to go over first the phone. Say, how do I change a diaper? How do I apply ointment, heat a bottle, or do a French braid? All of these are questions that can be answered in the search bar via the feed or the how-to feature that our app provides.
If you're looking where to find something, like, for example, a dentist that accepts certain healthcare, or kids coughing medicine, nearest children's hospital, a pediatrician, nearest daycare, are all questions that can be answered in the search bar, in the feed, and the near you section. And we will go into all these features in a bit after this in our demo. So we can put all of these ideas into one single kind of cognitive, interactive app.
When do I pick up my child? Have that appointment or drop my child off or even swap custody are all questions that can be answered in the search bar via the schedule. Now, there have been multiple times where I have been left at daycare or school. I've been the last child there waiting for my mom to pick me up, and my mother has tragically forgot me trying to provide for me.
I know also on that, my dad would put me in timeout, and he had a habit of going to his room and falling asleep. So I was left on the little Dora the Explorer box in the corner of his office for a couple hours. So that's something we wanted to help try to prevent with the schedule. How do I save my child from drowning? Help my choking child, help my child's allergic reaction, fight against intruders. These are things that we do not want users to be reliable on for our app. They cannot be answered in any of these features in our app, because we are not equipped with nor responsible for providing immediate life-saving advice. We have a pop-up option that tells you to call 911 immediately. Say, like, just like, for example, if you're calling the doctor and they say, if this is a life-threatening emergency, hang up and dial 911, it will be just like that. There's also an SOS feature that provides typical breathing exercises to release stress. So nothing very life-threatening. We want to try to minimize that risk. I know the biggest struggle for me when creating this app was to figure out my morals and what my line in the sand would be. Because obviously this is something very, I'm emotionally attached to. And like I said earlier, I do not want to manipulate or gain off of these people's struggles. So what I wanted to do is create an app where everything that you need as a necessity is accessible, while still providing incentive to try to buy those plan features to help make a profit.
So anyone can view the feed section, but there will be a few limitations, such as 5 posts a month or 3 comments a week. There would be 99 cents to remove this sort of barrier. So we're keeping it pretty low with what you can remove, such as like how you can remove some ads. We don't have ads everywhere. Our ads are mostly like in the top corner when you go to the map feature. They're nowhere where it'd be a bit of an inconvenience to see it. We have a 3-tier subscription. The first one would be free, the second one $10 a month or $119 a year. And the third tier would be $15 a month or $179 a year.
The subscriptions give you access to all these locked features, but like I said, you can still access them on the first tier. So the first tier, you have access to the calendar, maps, feed, texting professionals, sync calendar, notifications to one device, 5 posts a month and 3 comments a week. The second tier, you have access to unlimited posts and comments, personalized notifications, sync with 2 devices, and calling professionals. And the third tier, you have access to video calling professionals, unlimited sync, customized feed, as in such as the child's age and disabilities to kind of cater what you're looking for to you. No ads and unlimited posts and comments. Thank you, and if you will allow us, we'll go through the demo in right a second. There we go. Okay. So I designed what this app would look like on your regular phone's home screen. And if you go to the app icon, this will bring you to the loading page. And eventually this will take you to the home page where you have all the features like the search bar, the SOS, settings, advice hotline, how-tos, schedule, and your home bar, which is the home feed near you and your personal profile page. So say you wanted to go to the advice hotline and you wanted to talk with someone experienced via video call. This would bring you up to the tier page where you see all the different tiers. And say you want to look up some how-tos and you want to look up some hairstyles to try on your daughter. You can search that up. And this is what it would look like. You would get all these videos and website links and articles and try to help cater these to yourself. Your schedule, I wanted to make this kind of customizable. So I know from my mom, she had that struggle of committing to the custody schedule. So it was a couple of days on with my mom, a couple of days off with my dad. So you could try to log these things as your own user self and try to keep track of these things, because I know they could be very tricky to do. The feed, you could look at any people's posts from near you around your area. So you can see people's rating of pediatricians or babysitters. Pretty much it's all user-friendly and we rely on the user's feedback. So it's not like you're talking to bots. You're talking to actual people who are going through the same struggles that you are. The near you page also helps locate nearby businesses, and these will all be rated by other users. So say you want to go to a restaurant, but you're not sure if it's child friendly or not. This will be on the page that you can find. And for the profile, we wanted to do something different than just the regular standard profile. We wanted to make it customizable to help narrow down what you're looking for and what you're trying to cater to your child. So you can put the sex of the child, the age range, what parenting style you're looking for, because there's so many, and what your experience is. So when you're looking up things in your feed or the search bar and the how-tos, you don't have to sift through the millions and millions of different articles and videos. These will all be catered to you. Great. Thank you so much.
Anybody have questions?
I've got one. So, would there be like different age ranges, like 0 to 3, 4 to 10? Because what a parent of a teenager needs sometimes is completely different than that of a toddler versus a elementary school?
Absolutely. And that's what we have in like the profile. So you could put, hold on, let's
So
get back to
I'll
it.
give you the choice of that?
Yeah, you could put in the age range of the child, because I know when my dad and my stepmother got together, my stepmom didn't really know, she is the parent of a teenage boy, by the way. She didn't really know how to tell her son how to groom himself. That wasn't a problem she had when he was like, say, 2 or 3. So definitely these things, as your child grows and you could have all these different content grow with you as you are trying to parent your child.
Any other questions?
I love it. So I mean, mom, I was there as well, in the mid-80s before there was technology. But she actually, that was her biggest struggle was, how do I take the car? And how do I negotiate when I have to buy a new car? And she informally started building a network of friends, so that every time anybody lost a partner, they always would call my mom and be like, "Oh, I just need to figure out how to get through the struggle." So I could totally see this being against.
That's why I wanted to have the advice hotline, because my dad would always call my grandma for advice because he had no idea what to do. And I wanted to have that feature for people who may not have people like the penguin in their lives. So, thank you all so much.
Yeah. And with that, we conclude this session.